Hello, this is Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Hello, everybody. This is Evan Mumford, the host of this podcast, Must Be Nice. We are on episode number 5, and this one is super exciting. Very, very lucky to have my friend MJ on it. But before we go into that, I'll talk about a few other things. I want to let you guys know really cool things are happening behind the scenes here. I have a sponsor lined up that's gonna really interest some people, I'm sure. That one's a really good one, and I've got a whole bunch of interviews lined up that are gonna really bring this city what it needs. I really think so. So hang in there. If you're still with us, stay with us. You know how it goes. I personally am still recovering from quite a crazy weekend. I was asked to host a Simpsons trivia night downtown in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, and it was a fun night. It was definitely fun. One thing we learned for sure is Simpsons fans do not like it when you refer to their show that they love and grew up on as a second-rate Frasier. But it was really fun, and I also performed at Wheelies just last night, Wheelies downtown in Victoria. Started doing comedy shows again. I'm very happy to see that. It's a really cool place. And look out for more shows there. And I also recorded a record this week on playing drums in a band called Off the Clock. We're doing a couple shows and probably put out a 7-inch or 12-inch. And it'll be really fun. On that note, the music today at the end of the episode is by a band called Elementals. They had emailed me. We were chatting back and forth a bit, and I really like this one song called 24, which I'm going to play it at the end. It's really cool. That reminds me, I also want to let you guys know, I think people are kind of dropping the ball on this. We still have the Supreme contest going on now. All you have to do is you go to Facebook, you type into Victoria, BC Sneakerheads. You message one of the administrators and you say, look, put me in this t-shirt raffle. It's a free raffle for a Supreme shirt, which is kind of crazy. Those shirts are really nice, really cool, and collectibles. If you message the administrators and say, hey, I heard about this from Must Be Nice, you get thrown in the raffle. We're going to close it up very shortly, and I'll announce the winner on an episode of the podcast. Stay tuned for that. On that note, let's just bust into this episode. We've got MJ bringing tipping to the city, which is very interesting, and she's been a server for many years and has a lot of experience, and we're really lucky to have her. She's hilarious as well. I think you guys will enjoy this one. It's one of my favorites. Let us know. Leave a review. Add us on Facebook. Whatever you got to do. Make this thing, keep this thing going. You guys have been a pleasure. Enjoy the episode.
If you wanna go to a movie tonight, there's really just one restriction. 'Cause if you wanna go to a movie, girl, give me science fiction. Science fiction. Give me science fiction. Science fiction. Give me science fiction.
Howdy, citizens. This is your mayor speaking to you live from the first Wrathball event. We are happy. The citizens are loving it. They're hugging each other, smiling. They're coming up to me. We're chatting. We're discovering things about each other. We're kind of fucked up from the brewery. Thank you for that, Ryan. Looking around, what a great day this is. All the heavy hitters are here. I see my janitor over there. Not hugging anyone yet, but he's having fun. He seems to be kind of laughing around and becoming more of a social entity. And it's very happy to have him at the game with all my citizens. He previously handed me a recorded message that he told I must play because it was deemed very important. So I'm going to put that on now, guys. Let's listen to it.
KFC's new Family Fill-Up Feast. An affordable option for the family consumer. $20. And what's included in the Family Fill-Up Feast? Well, you get 8 crispy tenders, a medium popcorn chicken, medium fries, 2 sides, all for $20. What a great deal that is. KFC, striving to be one of the best for family activities.
Yeah. All right. So forget that, citizens. Just forget what happened there. You guys should stay tuned because I know you guys are loving the brewery, but we've got to kind of discuss an element that has plagued the outer world. What we're doing with this, I don't know. Tipping. Are we going to continue this? You guys are happy to tip because you're good people. I'm a good person. I like to tip. We're going to discuss this in more detail. We've got someone who's going to speak to us who's very experienced. You guys are going to love this. Pay attention, citizens. This is important. This is for your good and the good of our city. Please welcome MJ.
Thank you for having me.
My splendor,
Really?
my splendor, if you will,
Your splendor with a capital S, I assume.
with a capital S, little D. Thank you for coming to my house. Did you meet my servant, Evan McDonald? Did you meet him?
Oh yes.
Yeah, kind of a broody little man.
Can we talk about that?
No, I try
You'd
not
rather
to.
not.
I try to keep him out of my head, out of sight, out of mind.
Let's not let him
Right, MJ. Now here we are.
rain or parade.
And we're not gonna. Here we are. We're here for a reason, and I've invited MJ to talk about. Well, she's actually came to me first. She heard that we have a brewery now,
Yes.
and she herself is a server. Is that fair? You're a server.
I serve.
Of
I
sorts?
serve. I live to serve.
She lives to serve.
Serve to live.
She MJ is here to introduce the concept of tipping because she herself is a server,
Yes, I am.
and I believe that is part of your wage, if not a majority of your wage.
Depends. It's very fluctuating. It's a fluctuating thing.
It would be okay. Now, tipping, for those who don't know, I don't know where you're listening. Maybe you do listen in Japan, where you are maybe a bit more rational than us. But
Yeah.
what it is tipping is you provide an additional kind of chunk of change or bucks in the city. You throw a couple bucks to the server's way for doing a great job because the bosses don't.
That's
pay
how you do it? You just
don't
throw
pay
a
them.
couple of bucks?
livable wage. Well, absolutely. I in this city it would be in buck form, and
Yeah,
and it would be thrown.
I
So-
heard about the bucks.
You did. So if I do allow tipping in the city, which
Buckaroo. I heard also
Buckaroo-
being referred to.
thank you, that's $100.
Oh, Buckaroo's $100. See, I did not know that.
Well, you're learning.
Yeah, I just got here.
You just got here. She just came
Wait,
up the stairs.
where should I put my luggage?
Your luggage?
Yeah, it's mostly clothes.
Yeah, you're not staying. So she's bringing tipping.
That's only clothes.
What I find interesting is we tip on the basis that the boss doesn't pay enough money, which seems to kind of end the
Well,
discussion.
I mean,
right
that's
there.
like, yeah, okay.
Let's go into it.
I'll let you. Okay.
No, tipping. I want to hear it. I am hesitant to bring it into my city, but we'll certainly talk about it. What do you have to say?
So first thing about tipping, so sorry, it's that it's highly cultural. Like it's very much depending on, like for people who are listening who might not be familiar with tipping, in North America, in Canada, our wage is kind of like, it's way better than America, let's say, as in the USA.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Conditions are way better. Like in America, like I hear like some places they pay their server like an hourly wage of like $2, $3.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Let's talk about that right now. I think minimum wage in Canada right now is what, $10.90? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little bit above
right.
10,
It's hovering around 11.
which is not, it's less than the minimum wage from people who are not getting tipped.
Right. And Alberta just proceeded with a $15 livable wage.
In Alberta?
I could be wrong. I read the news
Yeah,
once.
it's so again goes back to my point that it's entirely it's more than cultural. It's also regional.
It is.
It is very much depending on where you are.
But the premise is minimum wage can be a certain amount. Let's say it's $11 right now. But servers' wages can be, even in Canada, they can.
Yeah.
I don't want to ask your wage, but it can be lower.
No,
than
and
minimum.
it's like, and it's also that I think it's a very touchy subject.
Mm-hmm.
They talking about money. In general, like first off,
It is. That's
it's
why
very touchy.
that's why communism rules.
But like I think there's a lot of misconceptions and stuff that people don't know, and it's very hard to explain. Living off of tips, and that is why coming into here talking about tipping, I propose that you guys don't install the tipping.
Oh, you're swinging that way.
Yeah,
We don't.
I would say like if you have to start, this place, which looks lovely by the way.
Thank you.
Lovely. Look at that tree; it's amazing.
Thank you. You saw the bank?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. First thing, like they dropped me off at the bank.
Oh, really? They're supposed to drop you off at the cigarette store.
I know.
Do you remember who dropped you off? The name of the citizen?
Who was it again?
Do you smoke?
I do smoke.
Okay. Do you like smoking inside?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. Do you like smoking in front of children?
I don't.
It's a weird thing to think about, but it's something.
I just don't realize they're there most of the time.
They're small.
They're
It's
small.
their fault.
They're
It's-
sneaky. I don't know.
right?
It's just like
smart guys.
look at
walking
me
around.
do my thing, like, and
man.
you do you later.
Yeah, man.
When you figure it out. How many kids are there here?
In the city right now, well, basically we have 50 people.
50 people.
We'll
Okay.
call it, I've been referring to them as Sims, but they're actually livable, real people.
Yeah. All right.
And I've got a citizen that was I allowed in as on a work permit. That's Evan McDonald, who's my janitor servant. But in that 50 population there are children. Absolutely.
Okay.
What are they doing? Not much. They're playing Wrathball from time to time.
Well, they're gonna. Are they born here in this city?
Everyone was brought in.
Okay.
So the 50 simulations that were brought in wanted to join me in this new world.
Oh,
For
interesting.
various reasons. We'll meet them later. But so that's what it is. And I'm just trying to build a city that I want to live in, MJ. And I really hope you would bring more than this.
Well, I'm bringing the anti-idea of tipping. I'm against.
Let's talk about that.
Well, I mean, not against.
See, that's what it comes down to. What are we against? What are we for?
It's like I understand what it's there for. Okay, let's say
What is tipping? Why is it there?
why is tipping there? The restaurant industry, the service industry, like just food and beverage hospitality is very organic. Like it's just very much like it's probably one of the first. Like, do you have a restaurant here?
No.
Exactly. Like the idea of like paying somebody to give you food. You know what I mean? Like it's very old. So I think it's just
Right.
I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I think it's just like the restaurant industry is very like people start their little restaurant and you don't want to put too much of a monetary tax on it for it to grow. Like if you really want to foster a lively scene of restaurants and restaurateurs and stuff, you know?
Absolutely.
So I think it comes from the fact that they wanted to operate on the littlest amount of money possible because it's the margin of profit in this industry is not as big as it used to be, I want to say.
Okay, that's fair.
But also it is like it's like a whole back and forth thing, right? Where like people, they want to pay. Like it started as people like meaning well and giving money, and then it become like as it went along, it become expected, and then it just got like brought into. It's kind of like when you go see a show and they do like a standing ovation like every time.
Right, and there's only 2 people who actually want to do it, and the rest have to do it.
Exactly,
by default.
and then the band goes backstage, and then they wait a little bit, and then they come back and they do encore. They should just do the encore right away, but it's been like built into it because people started doing it.
That's very interesting. Encores and tipping. Oh wow. That is a very interesting
That's my take
analogy.
on it anyway. I think it's just like
can we nip it in the bud with tradition? It's a tradition that maybe it does seem. I like the kind of like the regal aspect of you have a restaurant and it's they are serving you and it's kind of the burden is on them.
Also, yes, because that's the thing. It's a harder job than.
Is the server representing the restaurant? Because if you have bad food but your server was amazing, like are you?
You're still having a good time.
Right? Am I? I'm having an awful time, but my server's cool.
Yeah. How much do you value the service versus the food? Because if it was just about the food,
man, I respect
you can
it.
just like go to a sort of counter, sort of McDonald's scenario where you just kind of line up, get your food and fucking leave. Or just like eat on a... Can I swear?
You can absolutely swear.
Okay, good. Thank you. Because sometimes I swear.
Yeah, you swear.
As like a placeholder in a conversation.
Well, honestly, as a server, that's awesome. Like to be like personable. Like, you're very self-aware and you get it.
It's true.
And honestly,
I've been doing it for a long time.
You have, and I respect servers so much because the good ones are like I respect social etiquette. I respect just high intelligence socially, and a lot of good servers have it.
Exactly. Yeah, and I'm not naturally anyway. Like I had to learn that shit when I first started being a server. I was so because I've always been an awkward person, and like it was for me. It was the way for me to learn all that shit.
Yeah.
But like, and it all comes back to that, and a good server, you're not even gonna think about how good of a server she is sometimes because it's a lot about like problem solving and like making it about you. And sometimes like you try to, because some people everybody goes to a restaurant with different expectations in mind. Some
They
people
do.
are gonna go there because they want the experience of
They
just
do.
kind of hang out somewhere with
See,
people.
yes.
Some people they just want
Yes.
food and go.
Experience.
Some people are on a date. They don't want a server to be there too much. Like it's about reading the. I think servers and comedians have that in common a lot. You got to read your audience.
You do. And again,
what they want.
This word keeps coming up with smoking, with the brewery experience. People love living life in a certain way that's outside of health regulations, economic regulations, because there's no real reason for it.
The fact that it gives the power. I think the idea is giving the power to the customer to be able to sort of like tell you, oh, I really appreciate my experience or not. Like you have like, that's how you vote for your money, with your money, I mean, in that sense. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Apparently I voted for Airbud 37 times this week. I make a lot of votes.
It was you.
It was me. It was me.
But so yeah, like tipping, I don't know. Like I don't feel if you ask people who go to, I've never been to Europe personally, so I'm just gonna go disclaimer right there. I know I sound like I have because I have an accent.
You sound cultured.
My thing about Europe is that I hear a lot of people go from here, they go over there where tipping is more like a voluntary, like it's not expected.
Okay.
You know, it's not that much of a thing.
And do you know if that, I don't know anything about it. Do you know if that is like the continent of Europe, or are there obviously certain countries?
Oh yeah, definitely Europe, Asia, they don't tip either.
Well, that's another thing.
It's a purely, I want to say a purely North American thing. And I hear, and that was my original point with that, is that I hear the service not as good as here.
Right?
Yeah,
So
I hear like a lot of
we
people,
go
you know,
back
like
to that.
the cliche of like the snooty server from France, you know, that's ignoring you and stuff.
Yes.
Like, I think it's a cliche for reason. Again, I've never been, but I hear a lot, like in the zeitgeist, people talking.
Yeah.
In general, like I pick up on the fact that, like you know, like servers that, and I hear in America they're like too nice, you know? Like a lot of Europeans, they go to American restaurants and like servers are so desperate for that tip
that's
money.
interesting.
And they're like in your face and blah, blah, blah.
Well,
and like,
that's-
let's be friends, you know?
Man,
and they're like,
that's-
that's too much.
That's the social intelligence. Like,
It just kind of like, it becomes this fucking thing between people. And it becomes like this power dynamic, really. Because money is
yeah,
power.
Money is ultimately
So
power.
it gives a voice to the deepest, darkest, grossest part of humanity. And my point with that is like, as an example, I was reading an article about tipping because there's lots of research being done about it because it's very psychological and cultural. So it's a good ground to see those things with. And across the board, they noticed that people of color made less tips on average.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that gross?
That is definitely gross.
Like, so that's why I'm like, this system is broken. It's not
It's a broken
as much
system.
as like it's my livelihood, and I do understand the irony. You know, I'm just like, if you're gonna start this city and you want to do it well, I'm suggesting you guys not tipping.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. Because all we have right now is a tippable service would be theoretically the brewery.
Yes.
So theoretically, you have a bartender behind the bar pouring you and serving you at the counter. I don't have any servers at that place. I don't really like the idea.
Could I
of-
maybe apply?
No, not as a server.
Okay.
You're possibly carpentry now.
Yes.
But so I have a person pouring a beer, kind of providing you a service of like explaining the beer to you, why it will replace your nutrients that we don't have yet,
Yes.
and that's a place where tipping could be involved because it dependent on the servers.
Yes.
They're selling you a product. I mean,
But it's a slippery slope, is what I'm trying to get at, I guess.
right? Then we talk about the Tim Hortons employee.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, then you hear about their benefits being cut recently. It's like, what? I don't want any of that nonsense.
Have you ever tried to tip people at places you shouldn't be? I try sometimes. It's fun.
Like where? Where can't you tip?
But so yeah.
This is a professional server. She also speaks in elf.
It's Silverin. Oh no, I forgot my Tolkien lore. Anyway.
Listen, citizens, just a quick side note here. We won't talk about it much, but she did bring up Tolkien, who is a Lord of the Rings author, and that's
They know.
that's nerd shit. And this is for this is a place for people of
You guys
substance.
don't have nerds? You said you were a diverse city.
We're diverse, but
It was in a brochure.
but again, nerds is a title that is discriminating. I don't even think it's a title of community. I don't like that.
I'm bringing nerds next time.
Wow. Well, we'll
friend.
see about that. I mean, you have brought up some really interesting points about tipping.
Well, I have even, like, I tried to tip the guy at McDonald's.
Yes, what happened?
Do you want to know what happened? Because I
Yes.
thought it was hilarious.
Yes, of course we want to know what happened.
Okay, it wasn't that. I'm yeah. So I just give like a couple of bucks. No, I put it beside the till. I try to like slide it over to the guy, and he just looks at it like he doesn't know what to do.
It's foreign. It's a whole concept. to him.
And like his whole face, like it could be a painting. It was amazing.
Really?
He was so confused. So he just turns around and does his job.
He
you know?
didn't touch it.
Didn't touch it. So I'm like, okay.
He's
doesn't
just
want-
like, whoops, you slipped. Like he didn't even acknowledge.
Well, I mean, I think he was self-conscious. Like he didn't want to be like I don't know. So I was like, maybe he doesn't want to grab it in front of me. As an awkward person who became a server, tipping brings this whole awkwardness to it. You know what I mean? Like I mentioned being like self-conscious about grabbing in front of people. I get like that sometimes. I'm like, should I just,
Oh, that like the social etiquette of tipping. It's so weird because
you don't need it. You don't need that bullshit because I've done a lot of those like I've worked at Tim Hortons for a while.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of like different types of restaurants, different levels. I've done retail a lot, and being a server is definitely more of a skilled job.
Mm-hmm.
Like it takes a while to get good at it, and like the better you get at it, the less people are gonna know you're good at it.
Yeah, it's one of those things for sure.
Because it becomes effortless, sort of, but at the same time, like so much going on,
Well, traditionally, if you're tipping at a restaurant, correct me if I'm wrong, like a lot of this, the tip doesn't necessarily all go to you; it goes to the kitchen. The McDonald's guy would have pocketed that $2, buddy.
That's cool. He deserves it.
But buddy in the back slinging those.
It was my decision as a customer
No,
to
that's
show
true.
him, like, hey,
Here you go, bud.
I do that sometimes, like, I don't know, like, I have a favorite Tim Hortons I go to, and like the girl at night, she does everything on her own.
Oh yeah,
And she's the sweetest. She just like brights up my day. Like just talking
Really?
to her on the, the speakerphone thing.
oh my goodness. Sometimes it like
She just brings a smile on my face. So I'm like, every time I leave her one more buck, and I'm like, and I know it's just one more buck, but whatever. Like,
sometimes it's like when I have those people
it's for the gesture too.
at Tim Hortons or McDonald's or one of those places where they're like 55 years old. They're so friendly and they're the best people ever.
Yes.
It's like I just want to take you outside and just talk
Exactly. Those people are
you.
gems usually.
about
Yeah.
sexual issues. Yeah. I love them.
Their
And
experience.
and the tipping is like,
I think it's another aspect of it is like there's such a large scale of like skill involved. Yeah. So it's like you can be a beginner and server, or you can be a veteran server who's been
Right.
doing for 30 years. I used to work at this chain restaurant in Montreal, and it was unionized. And some servers there were serving at that same restaurant for like 30 plus
30
years.
plus years. Yeah.
Like that was they had like a retirement plan and like lots of benefits.
Well, that's another thing. Like, benefits are huge, and again, servers kind of get the shit end of the stick on that. It's crazy to me. I just
Yes,
as,
exactly.
As a mayor,
That's the thing people don't.
Can you imagine
realize.
as a mayor why would I introduce tipping when I can just pay the people a decent
Exactly.
wage? And you agree with me?
I do.
So
I think,
we're not allowing tipping, MJ?
But at the same time, things are gonna change.
You think so? Okay,
Yes.
now I should let you know. The world that you're familiar with is what I call the old world.
Yes.
So this new world, the city we live in now, we're trying to get rid of all the nonsense, all the foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
And in the old world, I tip, and I think it's a necessary component just because of the structure of how you guys are paid. And in this city, I'm going to pay everyone hopefully well.
You're
with
gonna have like
bucks.
healthcare, like public healthcare.
I don't have a hospital, but I'll have something at some
Oh, you
point.
need a hospital.
Yeah, I know. People, I got vices. So people are literally hurting.
You're gonna need
themselves.
one at some point. Like,
I'm
you
not.
should start building now.
I know. Are you a doctor by any chance?
No.
Shit. Well, we'll get there, folks. Citizens, just please keep it together. So you're anti-tipping. Interesting.
I mean, I'm not anti-tipping, and that's the thing. Okay, so like just PSA, if you're against tipping, I get that, but not tipping your server because they're against tipping is not going to change anything. Like it's not a way of.
Do you get that? Do you have people who are
yes.
fundamentally like, oh, sorry, I don't tip?
Oh yeah,
That's the thing people say to you.
Oh yeah, ever since that fucking reservoir dog.
Oh my god, did that thing probably ruined servers' lives?
At the same time, like if let's say tomorrow we decided let's just abolish tipping, you know, things are gonna change. First off, like the food is definitely gonna cost more.
Oh yeah, food would cost more?
Yeah, everything would cost more.
Really?
Oh yeah. So like people would go to outlets.
Oh, so the food would cost more because they'd have to up the wage to the servers.
Exactly.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
So first off, so are you ready to, you know, say goodbye to a cheap night out, you know?
What kind of weird dated thing is that you can legally charge you pay servers less? Like why?
I mean, yeah.
What is that? Where did that come from?
I think it's the Encore thing, you know, like it's just people started doing it and it became a thing that people expected people to do.
Interesting.
And now it's just part of the whole, you know, dance that we all do, like the whole play.
Funny. It really is an encore. Like I will clap along with an encore just as I'll clap along with a tip.
You gotta.
You just do
You don't
it.
want to be the guy who's just kind of sitting there and just like, no.
Yeah.
I've had enough.
Yeah. I don't want to hear
Go to
Free
bed,
Bird.
the Rolling Stones. You know, if you're starting again here in this new world.
New world.
I'm thinking you should like just pay them a fair wage, like health benefits, like that you can discuss later with.
Oh, absolutely, and I'm going to discuss that later.
And like maybe like do it like Europe. People just kind of like give a few bucks more if they really feel like that person's really good, but they don't feel like they have to or anything. Just
that's interesting. Know. So pay the servers a good wage. If you had phenomenal service.
Yeah, because like here's the thing. I think people don't understand is that tipping the way it's working now, mostly is that we have to do. Tip out like the kitchen most of the time, the support staff, the bartender, you know, like the bartenders that make your drinks and everything. And I think that's cool. I think they should also, because they work hard, but it's based on the sales. So the more you order, like the highest your tab is, the more you should pay. And that's why people always talk about percentage. You know, 15%, 20%, 10%.
Yeah. Okay. Let's clarify this.
Some people they don't understand that.
As a citizen, I want my listeners to know some life hacks. For me, I've always kind of struggled with this. You hear 15, you hear 20. I've heard like double the number. What
number?
So if your tab was double the first number. So if your tab was $25, you would pay. Never mind. I don't know what that math is. I don't know. I've never tipped before.
It's very easy. It's $25 a tab, right? In your scenario?
In my scenario, $25.
Okay, cool.
Not dollars, but
so
bucks.
it's like $25.00, right?
Bucks, yeah, 25
so
bucks.
Like the point is right there.
Yes.
So if you move that point, the decimal, as we say, over there, this one over there, it becomes 2.5.
That's not a good tip.
No, 2.5 would be 10%, and it would be, you know.
Oh.
And again, like good, bad, you know, like it depends on.
But that's 10. Don't they say 15 is?
So knowing that 2.5 is 10%.
Bump it up to 3.
So 1.25 would be 5%.
Right.
So you go 2.5 plus 1,
so
5.
What you're saying is you have to be Neil deGrasse Tyson to tip.
It's not that hard. Is it really hard? I don't know.
I don't know.
Had easiness.
I honestly just have a panic attack. I've once given my whole savings account, I'm sure.
It's a lot of words, you know. It's a lot of numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a visual person, it would be overwhelming.
Man,
but you know what I mean? Like, you just add the 10% and 5% and it becomes 15%.
Yeah, absolutely. But, man, it sucks if, like, you're getting a couple beers because you're clinically depressed and you don't have that much money. And it's
also,
like, I want to tip them. But it's like, I literally have 25 cents. So you just like put it down and walk away really fast.
Oh, you just didn't realize you didn't have enough money or something?
Or like
that happens.
You have enough money to cover the bare essentials of the X number of beers.
Yeah.
Because you're sad.
But then like have one less.
And then have one less. Exactly.
You know, like it's kind of, and that's the thing. It's like it's kind of like a social contract. This whole thing.
It almost is.
And people are just terrible in general. So
That's why I say get rid of the contract. No contracts, no tipping.
No more.
We're going to pay you well. We're going to treat you very well. In fact, what I'm probably doing is I do have a spy network.
I think, yeah. Oh.
So I'll be having spies put out to the servers who are killing it, who are actually kind of like hustling, will low key get a little extra.
Yeah, but like that's like, you know what I mean? Like it's dependent. Like it's very like who can say who gives a good service or what? Like it depends, you know. Sometimes I think I'm doing a good service, and people are like, "I hate her. She's fucking awkward."
Because some people are like, the less contact, the less you talk to me or touch me, I love you.
Yeah.
Like I personally don't like being talked to or
I think
looked at.
tipping is complicated because people are complicated.
There's like that great song, "Complicated" by Avril Lavigne, and she really.
I never heard of it.
Oh, Avril Lavigne.
Avril Lavigne is she French? She's French.
Yeah, she dated a skater boy once, and I heard that didn't.
Oh, that's very French.
Didn't end up well. Yeah.
It never does with French guys.
With French boys, Saki Kovu.
I'm sorry, French guys, but I'm not sorry.
Yeah, French guys. Bonjour.
Do better.
Yeah, do better. Come on. Be an English dude like me. I'm so.
Oh no.
Oh, be a Spanish dude. I don't know what she wants. Be a lifeless form. be a molecular energy. Just be like a speck that no one talks to.
Become a concept, an abstract concept. That's hot.
Can you imagine how hot that would be? How was your night last night, MJ? Well, I fucked an abstract concept.
Oh my god.
Didn't talk to me, didn't touch me.
The semantics on him. You should have seen it. Oh, it was so existential.
This is why she gets tipped, folks. But
oh my god,
I agree with what you're bringing. I agree. Tipping in a new world, so what we're saying here, MJ. Can we get? Or are we on the same page?
Yeah.
We both in the old world support tipping.
Yeah,
we do it.
Yeah, we do it. Absolutely.
Because servers don't get paid enough and they should get paid more.
Yeah.
In the new world, it's like, we don't need that. Is that true?
Like, yeah, exactly. I've always thought, and it's so cool that I'm in this city right now. I always thought if I had to start again, like a new, city or, country or whatever, I don't know. Like, I don't think I would go like that way.
Honestly, that's all we really need. I needed closure on this one because I was kind of up in the air, but I am very happy you came.
But then like also lower your expectations because it's a hard job.
Yeah.
And if you're doing it for a set amount of money, like don't go in there thinking you're gonna be treated like they're fucking
right.
You're just going to be treated like you would at the bank or wherever other places they don't tip,
Yeah, I mean, servers will know. They'll actually be mandated to treat me a little nicer.
You know what you should do? Like in this city for your brewery, because I'm thinking most of your servers are going to be in a brewery for right now if I'm looking around.
Yes, that's it. The brewery would be the main industry.
You know what I would do? Like, okay, I'm excited. I love this city already.
Thank you.
You should just give the servers a part of like... the profits in some way, like shares of the place,
because they would work harder towards promoting the place getting better because they can benefit from it in the end. Ooh, I like that idea.
You should bring it up to who opened whose brewery?
That would be Ryan Bangma.
Oh yeah, okay.
So you're saying
bring it up to him.
Every server who works there, or maybe after 6 months, they get shares or something, and with that incentive. They might hustle a little more. They might go forward.
Or they could have shares right away, but they give them up if they leave after a while or what. I don't know. I'm not really good at finance, but like they need to have a stake in it in some way.
Very interesting.
Because it is it's hard to quantify service. What's a good service? What's not?
Right.
So it's not the same as like an office job where you can go like, oh, like that guy did that many spreadsheets in a week or whatever. So 100%. He's productive or not. Like it's hard to pin it down.
It is.
So it's more like an atmosphere, sort of like blah, blah, blah. Just like give them like a stake in the whole...
I love that idea. I will say, I don't think we should give them shares right away. That happened to Sonny Bono, and look what happened to him.
Oh.
Hit a tree skiing. Now that's something I had to say there.
That's how their song goes. Yeah, I remember.
This is amazing. I really like that idea.
Yeah, I think so. I
No
think that would be a
tipping.
good way.
Give them benefits such as
Yeah.
shares in the profits. This is great. This is the first positive thing that's come into my city in quite some time.
Really?
May I be frank? I've got cigarettes. I've got beer. Luckily I do have a sport called Rathball. Which
Oh, I need to hear about that later.
it's
Let's have a beer and like tell me about.
yeah, it's a lot.
Sounds amazing.
It's a lot.
I think
It's-
it sounds like I would be really good at it.
Well, for those who may not have listened, it's Rathball, of course, is football, but instead of you just hug each other. You hug. Whoever hugs.
Oh no, I would. I hate hugging.
Exactly. We named it that way to get people like you in there to change your lifestyles. So this is where we're at, folks. I'm very happy with this. Are you glad? Are you happy?
Yes, I'm very. Both
Oh.
of these things.
Well, look at these.
Well, I mean, I
is
hope
great.
can I just like stick around like for like
Absolutely. You
today because like I
Yeah.
there's no more bus until tomorrow.
No, you have to stick around. I mean, you're not going to stay here. You're going to stay in the quarters, but you're
Yeah.
welcome. You're welcome to hang around.
I just need a little bit of hay somewhere.
yeah,
My head,
yeah. You rest your
my
head,
weary head.
catch the early train out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you tell your friends about us.
I mean, oh, you don't want my friends here.
No, I barely liked you here. So this has been a great lesson for all of us. And MJ, thank you very much.
Hey, thank you for having me. Are you kidding?
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Folks, I hope you take care of yourselves. And I am your mayor, Evan Mumpert. And there it is, citizens. I hope you guys enjoyed that interview with MJ. We've got to the bottom of things. You know, tipping is inherently a good deed, but it's an unnecessary deed. Ultimately, I think it's what we've learned, possibly. That's what I'm taking away from it. We're going to let the servers in on the businesses where they work. We're going to kind of grow it that way. I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves out there. I'm happy to announce we've got a new citizenship application coming up soon. So we are currently at 50 citizens, of course, and Evan on a work permit. I'm looking forward to the next Rathball event where I'll see many of you guys again. And I actually, of course, recorded a few interviews down at the game today, and I'll be happy to play them if you want me to. If you want your kind of name in the sunshine, if you will, just let me know and I'll play those happily for you for the broadcast. All right, and as I'm getting more and more into sports, you know, as they say, keep your sticks off the ice. Signing off, your mayor. Everyone's mayor. Bye-bye.
Somebody that I don't really trust anymore. I guess I learned my lesson, that won't happen again. 24. Keeping you company was fun, but I got an issue. Yes, I hope that we can be cool. Yes, I hope that we are cool. So farewell, so long, be good. I don't think I love you. I think that it is wrong, because you seem to have fun